To understand what this is all about, the Western media is all Zionist. Hello, I think everybody knows that now. Google Earth I have exposed several times as a manipulated fraud, and as such I have to take coordinates and use Magellan satellite software installed on my several computers. As one of my online computers I hacked, I set it aside and reformat, backing it up. It is important to not rely on web-based software, as they alter it as soon as I discover and reveal details. Laptops are vulnerable as they can backdoor through Wi-Fi. Now, the most vilified man, apart from Jesus, is Hitler. Like Jesus, his struggle manifests as a stunning overthrow of the bankers. What did Jesus do when he overthrew the temple in the tables in the temple? Well, who was running the show? The bankers, the priests of the temple, the bankers, gangsters. What do we call them today? Banksters. Today, it's the same dudes. Only the temple this time is the earth. The world governments established research organisations to discover their ancient secrets of Sanskrit and were the leading scholars translating the Vedas. Now, Vedas means angels or messengers. The amazing advances of Germany, unshackled from the dictates of Zionism's Western democracies, the angels rewarded him, rewarded Hitler. Antarctica, where the angels await backup from the home planet orbiting Nibiru, allowed Hitler's forces to establish bases under the ice of Antarctica. His commanders related how they had discovered paradise for Hitler. The technology advances were so astounding, the Germans held the Western might at bay until finally firebombing 25 million German civilians, the war ended. Admiral Byrd was ordered to lead the USA Armed Forces. A 6-month voyage was cut short, a hasty retreat after 2 months. On February the 26th, 1947, flying saucers, as they were called later, emerged from the sea and shooting down aircraft and sinking a destroyer in minutes. A pilot reported the discs fired rays from them. He described the attack like a beast out of hell. Yes, that description just struck me as I've read the bombing of Germany by the Allies, which of course was Britain and the USA. What they did to the Germans. I mean, this night where only really comparatively a few were taken out by the angels, they experienced just a little of what they did to Germany. These got off lightly. They were able to escape and go and report. So this is the scenario, this is the setup for all of the BS that has followed. I just want to put that in now. What happened this night to the USA, who is the beast, is the setup for what followed. In the same year, they had to cover themselves, cover their retreat and their defeat. So as I do, I calculated the attack from my birth date. It was 1142 days. And 1142 means devil, supernatural spirit or devil. That's what the USA is. In weeks, 1142 days is 1631. In Hebrew means to cut off, which is what they were. They were cut off, soundly in 20 minutes. And in years, 31.267. 312 is the English gematria for the new name of the Lord Jesus Christ, which is Brian Leonard Golightly Marshall. English gematria 44, 69, 115, and 3, and what's it? 84. Add it all up is 312. It is that mocking, Has to be. Never. Oh, okay, let's go. Yes, if you can make one. Okay, so Matthew 6:24, no man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and mammon. Mammon, 3126, avarice, mammon, wealth. Hello? The Jews who call themselves Jews, Rothschild, what is it that they worship? Mammon, wealth. Okay, 163, to make captive, lead away captive, bring into captivity. Oh, here it is, here on the 312 is my name, Brian, there you go, not stumbling over it. As for the disbelievers, ask yourself, how come I am still alive? Who is out there doing what I do? And how long would you live? I want to point out here that the Christ was reborn January 1944. Now, we know through the writings of the likes of, how do you describe people like Harold Rosenthal, the Jew, or perhaps that is the description, says it all, the Jew, who gave the interview in 1976, bragged about the Holocaust being a lie, and he also exposed the plan for World War III. They wanted to bring it about as early as 1950. They haven't been able to. Why do you think that is? Because the Christ was already on the earth, 1944. So there have been wars and rumours of wars. That would be World War III. World War III has been rumoured for the last 60 years, at least. However, it will always remain a rumour. It will not happen because the Christ is on the earth. Why is the Christ on the earth? The Lord's Prayer, thy kingdom come, thy will be done upon the earth as it used to be, is. It's now was in heaven. The Christ brings forth his kingdom upon the earth. The king is in residence. You can only have a kingdom when the king is in residence, and he's been on the earth from that time to protect the earth. You're all alive today because he's here. He is your salvation. As I do, I calculated the attack. Okay, I've already done this, haven't I? That's it. Move along. Here we go. On February 26, 1947, a battle took place, which is described by a member of the expedition, an experienced pilot called John Syrison. They lost a destroyer, shot from the nose section of the flying saucers or the flying discs. Like a satanic beast spitting deadly fire. And I would remind you, like payback, karma, for the worst that they did to Germany. Dresden, 135,000 people in 20 minutes, literally vaporized. Then Hamburg annihilated 70,000 people over 10 days. Children, their legs burning, falling into bubbling tar asphalt. The inferno that went up, sucked in 150 mile per hour winds that sucked in from miles around. Men, women, children, cars, trees uprooted into the inferno. So is there any wonder that the USA is now experiencing, like a satanic beast, spitting deadly fire? It's called payback. And a warning, I might add. So when the saucers again dived under the water, we evaluated our losses. Despite the danger, rescue teams and lifeboats were immediately dispatched. Who did these flying saucers belong to? Could it have been Nazi Germany? They flew vertically out of the water in a fury. The Zionist US Navy want to destroy the German bases. What does this tell us? Of course, these positions are perfect for the construction of secret bases. Now, moving right along, I was in Gulf Breeze, Florida, 1991. I had been caused to head there by an angel. On the way, my wife at the time, she a demonized soul, did her utmost to stop me. I used her like a negative Geiger counter. Driving through Toledo, her continual moaning drove me to the point of having enough. Pulling up at the airport, I halved the money and unloaded her luggage onto the sidewalk. Catch a flight to Vancouver. I'm going to Gulf Breeze, Florida. I drove off watching her briefly in the side mirror, standing motionless. Circling the block. Thank you, babe. Did you put the chocolate stuff in there? Thank you. I drew up and leaned out. Get in and keep your yap shut. I'm going to Gulf Breeze. Okay, driving down the East Coast, we pulled into the Edgar Cayce Memorial. Inside, she is always testing me. We encountered an ESP machine. The idea, 2 people sit on either side of a series of images that light up when the person presses one of 5 buttons, a star, square, circle, etc. Her challenges to me was, if you're Christ, you can read my mind. I get this shit all the time. What is it? If you're Christ, you will know my middle name. Or where was I in the year 2000? Or tell me this or tell me that. Hello? All I can say is like he really cares. Is that right, babe? Like you really care? Like, what's my middle name and where was I in 2000?
Someone said to me once, give me the lotto numbers and I believe. And I said, why would I give an arsehole like you? I did it for myself and I won £1,000 a year's wages in Africa, which I toured Africa on.
Yes. And they saw the abominations afflicted against the meek of the earth then, thanks to the... Anyway.
I gave Pauline the lotto numbers for 24 million in Florida.
Right.
Right? That's why they are. She didn't buy the ticket, and that's what the numbers Why she ever joked about that?
You cannot serve God and mammon. All right. Okay, 1 correct. Odds 5 to 1. Okay, lucky guess, she says. Another correct. Then another 3 in a row. Then another 4 in a row. By the time 10 in a row, she is noticeably disturbed. Tourists started to watch. 20 in a row. Soon more gathered. 30, then 40, then 50. There were standing about perhaps 120 people, all gasping in amazement. I reached 97. Her disbelief continued. You're tricking the machine. So I said, okay, I'll get the next 3 wrong. The crowd nodding in agreement. So I did. During the proceedings, I told her to cover her eyes so there could be no way I could see what she was looking at. And as the keys were close together, she had no way her body language could be seen. And I elected to close my eyes, only opening them to respond. She was relentless from that hour. How did you do it? You tricked the machine. Days passed and finally she stopped asking, as I repeatedly said she had seen many miracles, so shut up. We arrived in Gulf Breeze. At Shoreline Park near Pensacola, the MUFON people, what a name, would sit up watching the sky till early morning. UFOs seen on an average of 3 days was not what they hoped for. It was gas off the Gulf that spontaneously ignites and burns along a river of gas in the sky to go out. One early morning, all had retired, leaving a Mr. Jacobson. We talked, and he said his daughter was the girlfriend of a man who was among 7 computer operators that went AWOL in Belgium, off the Strategic Air Command. The story was the computers had begun revealing messages, like the Iraq War, 10 years before it was to occur. But what spooked them, they got a message that Jesus was coming to Gulf Breeze, Florida, on a UFO. It was a UFO mission, wasn't it? Okay. He was genuine. He said her boyfriend was arrested by the state troopers. I doubted the reality of 7 top classified could simply walk off a base, get on a plane, land back home, and not be allowed to move freely, as the Air Force had to see what was up, at least verifying they were watching. Well, my comment was, Jesus had come to Gulf Breeze, but not in a UFO, but a BDD. He asked, what's a BDD? I said, a blue Dodge Diplomat. It's over there in the parking lot. In the nights that followed, I was shown proof of a UFO, a book written by Ed Walters. He showed several photographs. One, he is in a towel. What kind of a body shape was he?
this. It was like he was going like this.
Oh, are you kidding?
With a towel on.
With a towel wrapped, what?
Taken from the back of his house, right?
Oh, okay, so he's come out of the shower or whatever and gone outside to... So, all right, he's in a towel out in the yard, above a craft, light shining from a circular base. It turned out to be a circular fluorescent tube and a paper body above. He used a Polaroid camera. He would take the snap in his basement, reload the film back and reuse it. His wife took the snap and he and the craft would develop. He had witnesses. He blackmailed youngsters with tape recordings of kids making out. Not a nice man. In his home, a large mirror closet near the living room, he would take a photo of young girls standing to the left of the mirror, and when developed, a devil's shape would emerge beside them. He was able to influence their behaviour. I went to his house. His wife answered. Ed was not there. She had suffered a breakdown. She had just gotten out of hospital after a suicide attempt. Married to Ed. Later I returned. Ed was there and he leaned on the frame, glaring at me as I confronted him. It's amazing how demons glare, don't they? Remember in New Guinea when we were waiting outside there? Yep. And that demon, Aussie demon, short little homosexual thing, with just glared backwards and forwards like this. The house was number 11 on the 11th Avenue. The photo of the first USO, FO, was the 11th of the 11th, 1987, and it was their wedding anniversary. Oh, how nice for her.
No, he was a builder and developed the entire estate.
Right.
The house he had originally sold. The guy who bought it had found this bloody UFO up in his attic.
Oh, right.
Right. It was a balsa thing with paper mache and this fluorescent that you'd get out of a...
You trying to trick me? Did you put sugar in this?
I did not.
You didn't put sugar in it? No. Are you sure? Where's the spoon with the chocolate stuff on the bottom? That
I've stirred it in there.
Doesn't taste like it at all. I want the chocolate stuff and the spoon for evidence. No sugar.
You don't know sugar?
No.
I don't use sugar.
No honey either. That just does not taste like the mocha it should be. All right, so how long is this ripping yarn? I'll continue. I have seen many angels. They can be in human form or as light. Some in the natural state, which are in Antarctica, are very big, 7 to 9 feet, blue eyes, blonde to red, long curly hair, bearded, white skin, usually wearing a white garment. These are the watchers who are waiting for the return of their comrades with Nibiru. Excuse me. Oh, I know what it is. Okay, there's 2 containers out there. You're going to the glass jar, right, with the brown stuff in it? Mm-hmm. Okay. There's a container beside it with chocolate stuff on it. That's...
You want that in there as well?
Well, no, that's way too sweet now.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. I realise now that you weren't clued in days ago. All right, so what have we got? These are the watchers who are waiting for the return of their comrades with Nibiru. This is why even the Vatican has a telescope on Mount Graham in the USA that they call Lucifer. Even here in Castel Gandolfo there are 2 telescopes. They, the Church, believe in aliens. The angels are not aliens. They are here to prepare the earth for the coming of the Lord. Now, as all of this alien graves and so on, abductions, all have taken place since 1947. Remember I said they were defeated soundly by the angels, the holy angels, in February of 1947. So the Roswell crash, they later changed from July 4th to July the 8th, 1947. So now they have to concoct the BS to cover for their sound defeat down in the Antarctica. And yet Germany was allowed to build bases there. Hello! So the original story, 2 UFOs were flying over Roswell in opposite directions. And at 200,000 feet they ran into each other. One completely destroyed the other, crashed with 4 aliens, one alive.
How do they know it was 200,000 feet?
Yes.
How do they know there was 2 alien ships that come here after 2 billion years of observation, from billions and trillions of light years away, and then run into it over the desert on the 4th of July?
Well, it's a bit like the guy running into the... God bless America. So we drove to Roswell, stopped at a roadside diner, phoned information, was put through to Walter Holt. He invited us to his museum, which was the 6th floor of a bank building he told me was rent-free. I had given him the Freemason handshake, 33 degree. He said he was Scottish Rite, 32 degrees. I said I was writing a book, and he opened up. He said he was the public relations officer with the Strategic Air Command stationed in Roswell and was first on the crash scene. He verified he later saw the bodies of the 3 dead. He made the announcement to the press. The following days he was ordered to change to a weather balloon. So change his report to a weather balloon, was it? Okay. The location of Roswell could have been established anywhere, as it is all desert. What they did was select the latitude. Messiah and anointed equals Christ and Gabriel, the longitude. All right, so now we're looking at, what are we up to on that day? 22 minutes, probably, no, another 10 and we'll stop again. Here we go, 140 miles of desert all around the Roswell location. And yet, so it's right on the intersection of Highway 70 and 285. 70, 285 and 380.
The area you can drive for a very long distance. Get flat.
Yes.
So they could have chose anywhere.
Anywhere, yeah.
They wanted that to be the Messiah and Christ
Oh,
and
right.
Gabriel.
Crashed head on 3 dead. The Trinity is dead.
And the little alien apparently likes strawberry ice cream, so I'm quite fond of it myself.
Yes, you do. You like strawberry milkshakes and ice cream. All right. Now, Newbeck Street. Okay, so we're skipping right along here. We're back in Australia. When he's talking about Newbeck Street, it's in Australia. Let's go. Is mountainous. The location is the same, latitude and anointed. Christ. The longitude equals 159, Greek. From the same as 153, shameful, filthy. Which is what this, so Newbeck Street is the rebirth location of his first wife, Lucifer in the flesh. It's at the same latitude as Roswell. So Roswell is latitude north, and this is latitude south, 33, what's it, 3323 or something. I'll come to the numbers in a minute. Okay, we haven't. Yeah, so, and that's exactly what she was. She was shameful and filthy. Gabriel the longitude, this is in Roswell, Greek 1500. From 1502, without reason or effect, without a cause, vainly. So my angelic order is to marry a harlot. I did. In doing so, I produced the key opening the house of David from Isaiah 22:22, locked in the Great Pyramid, the altar to the Lord. The distance from her bedroom to mine, this is before they married, was 118.22 kilometres. This is all as the crow flies, measuring with GPS software as the crow flies, which is Psalms 118:22. The stone which the builders refused is become the headstone of the corner. So the Christ today in his second coming is rejected, refused by everybody, especially Christians. So the heading between Newbeck and the Christ rebirth location. When this is the O'Riordan Street location. So that's where you were living when you met her. Okay, so it's not your rebirth location. It's okay. So just clarifying this. Yeah, that's right. So this is the location now. He meets the harlot that he's got to marry. It's all about Hosea, prophecy of Hosea. Hosea, marry a harlot. So the heading is 347.6, and this is the right equity, meet right, upright. Verb to chop, especially to beat the breast in grief, cut down, lament, and mourn and wail. And this is what the Christ went through.
Agree.
Okay. Thank you. Better colour. That's better. This is exactly what the Christ went through every day of his life. In the run-up to your actual marriage to this woman, knowing that you had to, and not wanting to, but having to, and then every day with her. Agony.
You tell the truth by mistake.
Okay.
Typical truth.
Now, so that last slide was Australia. Now back to Walter Holt. He was lying through his teeth as the crash date was first reported July the 4th, 1947. But too much ham. Independence date. And as I pointed out, 2 alien crafts arrived from 2 planets, X and Y, then not fly over the cities. They show up over a desert and crash head-on. Hello? It was a balloon. It carried a target which was hit by a test rocket as it had lost altitude and sat on the ground. 4 youngsters saw it and rode their horses to have a look. Being the 4th of July, it was a holiday. While investigating, the rocket hit the target and killed the youngsters. This then caused the army to cover it up. And Washington by then had been informed by Admiral Byrd, chased out of the Antarctic by angelic craft. The bodies were aliens. No investigation. So the bodies were the children. Oh.
That's why they were small.
Yes.
And they were badly charged.
Yes. Oh my God. Okay, so now we get the latitude and longitude for Roswell. It's below, and the point is that they could have chosen anywhere since it is all desert, yet they chose the following coordinates. They are bound by the Freemason Bible and concordance numbers. Roswell was a setup. Again, latitude 3323 Messiah, Christ, and 3323 Hebrew oil, anointed oil equals Christ. The longitude 1043 Gabriel, an archangel Gabriel. So I married Arlene Joyce Rosewarne, 20 Newbeck Street, Lisdale, Australia. Hosea 1:2, beginning of the word of the Lord by Hosea. And the Lord said to Hosea, Go, take unto thee a wife of whoredoms, and children of whoredoms, for the land hath committed great whoredom, departing from the Lord.
What it's saying is how the Lord feels about Israel.
Yes.
They become a part.
Yes.
They were brought under the sun.
Yeah.
Solomon. Moloch.
Yes. Yeah.
Solomon married the daughters of Solomon and Moloch.
Yes. And so your own children who take after the mother, it's how you feel about them, and on the larger scale, Israel.
There's things they have done, I can't even talk about it.
No, I don't want to know. As much as I...
Harold Robbins couldn't afford that.
No.
All right, we're just hitting 30 minutes.
All right, we'll come back on this one. We rambled all over the place and ripping yarn though.